Rated M because we motherfucking grown. This is the Halloween episode. Hey grown folk, it's your girl Tierra Laray, and y'all, when I say that this episode is going to be nothing but dating horror stories, and these stories are scary as fuck. That's what I mean, scary as fuck. So I've been for a minute telling everybody to send in their dating horror stories. It is a segment on the show regularly. However, I wanted to make this Halloween episode just all about the dating horror stories. Like, what's scarier than that? Dating is like scary as fuck in these days and times. But I've been telling everybody to send in their dating horror stories, and I've gotten a good bit of stories from you guys. So I definitely appreciate you sending your stories in via DM or via email. And if you do want to have your story read on the podcast, please feel free to send your story into the email, which is ratedm because we mfgrown at gmail.com, or you can shoot me a DM. You can shoot it to the podcast page, which is ratedm_ because we mfgrown, or on my personal page, which is at Tierra_Laray. All right, let's go ahead and get into these dating horror stories. Oh, I also want to say, if your story doesn't get read today, no worries, because like I said, the dating horror story is a regular segment on the show, so I'll be reading them. And I also want to say that I put in maybe 2 stories from my book. So for those of you who don't know, I wrote a adult book about sex fails. And you can purchase the book on Amazon. The book is called Welp. That did not end well. And it's just a book of short stories full of sex fails, or essentially dating horror stories. So go check it out. Go get you a book. But let's get into the dating horror stories.
Hey, shawty, I want to take you on a date.
All right. So this dating horror story was sent in via email from one of our listeners. And she says, oh yeah, and then also, just to let you all know, anytime you do send in your dating horror story, it is going to be read anonymously, so no worries about that. If you're scared that I'm gonna put you on blast, no worries. I don't name drop. I talk a lot of shit, but I'm not gonna name drop. All right, so this dating horror story sent in from one of our listeners via email, and she says, my dating horror story is so recent, I'm still trying to recover from it. I have been listening to your show since the beginning, and let's say that I can relate to Dom on that episode where he got catfished and still followed through with the date, because my ass did the same thing. So long story short, I met this guy on, yep, you guessed it, Plenty of Fish. And I'm not gonna lie, when I came across his profile and saw his pictures, I kept saying to myself, these look like all the AI pics going around. But against my better judgment, I decided to still swipe right on the guy. He ended up messaging me and we were texting back and forth on the app for the rest of the day. I offered to exchange numbers so we can talk outside of the app. At first, he was hesitant, but then he eventually gave me his number after me having to convince him by saying that I actually don't even be on POF like that and don't want to miss out on our connection. That's funny. That's what guys say to me to get my number. Oh, I don't even be on here like that. I'm like, yeah, okay. Anyways, come to find out, the number that he gave me was a text now number. But again, against my better judgment, I continued the interaction because Buddy was fine. Now, fast forward after a couple weeks of texting and talking over the phone, I was way past ready to see dude, who, by the way, has made every excuse in the book as to why he couldn't link up. Finally, we planned to link up at my house. He said he would be there by 8 p.m. I was excited to finally see him, but he kept saying, I hope you still like me in person. Girl, this man rang my doorbell, and he was not the man in his pictures on his profile at all. The man in his profile was a light-skinned, sexy man, and he was this dark-skinned ooga booga. I have nothing against dark-skinned men, but damn, he was ugly. He catfished my ass, and against my better judgment, again, I let his ass come inside my house just out of pity because he seemed super nervous. He was there for about a good 20 minutes before my best friend was calling me after I texted her to do so, of course, and telling me that she had an emergency and I needed to come get her right away. Needless to say, I never hit old boy up again, and I deleted my profile off of POF. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for sending your dating horror story in, and also thank you for listening to the pod from the beginning. I appreciate that. That really, really means a lot to me. I know that we are like, what is this, like the 13th episode? This is the 13th episode on Halloween. The 13th episode on Halloween. So we only 13 episodes in, and I appreciate you for listening to however many episodes you've listened to and just kind of rocking out with me. And you referenced that you could relate to Dom, so I know you are definitely an OG listener. Like I'm saying OG, like I got some skin in the game, like I got 500 episodes under my belt or some shit. But anyway, yeah, so Dom has been on the podcast a couple of times in the beginning, like maybe episode 2 and 3, or I can't remember, but I do remember that episode where he talked about getting catfished, and he still ended up messing with the dude that he got catfished by. So your ass pulled the same bullshit. So you got catfished. So I wonder, well, of course they were, because you got catfished. So this is crazy. This is crazy because we are living in a time where AI is taking over. And you mentioned that, you said that when you looked at his pictures on the profile, they were giving you that AI vibe, like they were looking like those AI pictures that are going around, which you can tell, a difference between somebody's real pictures and those AI pictures, for sure. So that was your first red flag right there. And then, against your better judgment, you kept on, and then he was giving you every excuse as to why he wanted to stay on the app. He didn't want to give you his number. Then when you got the number finally, he was giving you every excuse as to why he didn't want to link up. These are catfish signs, sis. Like, these are signs of a motherfucker playing games and trying to catfish you. Well, let me not say that, because I do the same thing, and I get that a lot from guys on these dating apps. They think I'm a catfish because I don't be quick to get off of the app, and I'm not quick to link up. So let me not say that's not catfish signs. However, for a guy, I don't know. I never came across no guy who was holding out, like trying to play hard to get. So that is interesting. I would say these are definitely signs that you might be getting catfished. Then the ultimate sign was him saying, I hope you like me when you see me in person. Like, I hope you still like me when you see me in person. That shit right there would have been like, you know what? You ain't even gotta worry about it. It's early as fuck. And so, like, the school buses and shit are driving. People are getting up for work and shit. So you might hear some cars in the background. I might edit that part out because this shit's supposed to be scary. But anyway, yeah, so then your ass, you even called this man a ooga booga, and you still let this man come to your house and come inside of your house when you seen he was a ooga booga. You let him come inside the house. But I ain't even mad at you because you pulled you had to pull that best friend card real quick. Like, let me text my best friend, tell her to, hey sis, red alert. This is not a drill. Get me up out of this situation quickly, please. Whew, man, that's. I just, like, to get catfished in these times is kind of wild, but obviously it can still happen. If y'all asses out here being goofy, it can happen. So stay safe. Stay safe on these dating apps. Now this next one is actually a story from my Sex Fails book, and this story is called Wayne Dookie Stain. Wayne was a sexy ass frat boy that I had my eye on since freshman year. We would always bump into each other in the student center, at the caf, or at frat parties. When we did, we would do some light flirting, but nothing ground shaking. Every time he would stroll with his line brothers, my pussy would just throb, seeing how smooth he was and how all the ladies would just drool all over him. The thing that turned me on the most about Wayne was the fact that he didn't really feed into all of the attention that the females would try to give him. He was really laid back and humble. There were nights that I would see him in the student center and we would speak and give each other a hug, and that would be pretty much it. But shit, his smell alone was enough to get my fire burning. I would go back to the dorm room and finger myself while fantasizing about all of the things that I would let him do to me. I never had the courage to shoot my shot, so I just knew that it wouldn't go anywhere. It's senior year, and my roommate decides to sign me up for her sorority's auction where people bid on you for a date. I was not really wanting to do it because I'm super shy, and I don't think anyone would bid on me. As I'm standing up there, nervous as hell, praying that the starting bid for $20 would get picked up, when I hear someone in the back of the room say, I bid $50. I looked up surprised, and it's Wayne's fine ass just grinning and licking his lips. My panties instantly got wet and my legs started trembling. At that point, I didn't give a damn if anyone else would even bid on me. But to my surprise, another frat guy placed a bid for $75. I was nervous as hell because I was hoping and praying that Wayne would continue to bid on me, which he did, but old boy was not going down without a fight. These niggas went back and forth for about 10 minutes. I ended up bringing in the most money that night and raised $525. That's big bank to a broke college kid. Unfortunately, it wasn't Wayne who won the bidding war, so I ended up having to go on a date with the other frat guy. The date was horrible. All he did was talk about himself and pushed up on me all night with his funky ass breath. I was so glad when the day ended and was happy to take a walk around campus to let off some steam. As I walked past the student center, I hear someone calling my name. Hey, yo, Jamie. I look back and see Wayne's fine ass jogging up to me. Slow down, girl. I stopped and my legs. Oh, my bad. I stopped my legs from moving, but could not keep my pussy from thumping in my panties. I just wanted to let you know that you were looking good at the auction today, and I was mad as hell that old boy outbid me. He offered to walk me back to my dorm room, and as we were walking, I told him that I appreciated him for even betting on me, and that I honestly was surprised. As we walked up to my room, he finally said what I have been waiting to hear all 4 years that I've been in college. He said, "I've been wanting your fine ass since freshman year." Once he said that, it was like the floodgates just burst open and something took over my shy ass body. I lunged at him and we began to make out and touch all over each other. He had me pressed up against my door, and right there he put his fingers in my pussy. He looked at me with a surprised look on his face and said, "Damn, your pussy is so wet." I gave him the seductive ass grin and he picked me up and opened the door to my room as we continued kissing. I was really shocked at how easily I got over my shyness and how seductive I was being. I pulled his pants down, pushed him on the bed, and began to straddle him. He told me to hold on as he put a condom on. When I say I rode his dick like a damn pro, I rode that dick. He kissed my neck, told me how great I felt, and rubbed on my back while we grinded all night. After we both came together, I fell out on the bed from exhaustion. He said he had to go to set because his frat had some new pledges, so he couldn't stay for more rounds, but would definitely hit me up tomorrow. He gave me a kiss and left. I was on cloud 9 with butterflies in my stomach just thinking about the possibilities. I cuddled up under my covers and tried to get some sleep. I could not fall asleep because I kept getting a whiff of something funky every so often. It kept getting worse, so I jumped out of the bed to go check the bottom of my shoes and make sure I didn't step in any dog shit on my walk home. Nope, my shoes were clean. I put them back under the bed, and when I stood up there, it was. My sheets had shit stains in the spot where Wayne sat as I rode his dick earlier. I was so disgusted. This dirty ass nigga really left shit stains on my sheet. How does a grown ass man not know how to wipe his ass properly? I was so pissed, and I avoided Wayne for the rest of the school year. Every time I saw him out somewhere, all I could hear in my head was, "Wayne, Wayne, dookie stain," and I would haul ass the other way. Now, that is a story in my book, and it's funny because it's not a dating horror story of mine. It's actually a dating horror story of a friend of mine. She told me that story. So it's based on a true story. She said that this frat boy, she liked him and they always flirted, and finally they were able to get together and have sex, and he sat on her bed and she rode him, and when he got up and left, she looked at her sheets and she seen like his ass imprint from where he was sitting at, and in the middle of the ass imprint were the shit stains. So she said that she figured that like his ass was gripping the sheets, like the sheets were getting gripped into his ass while she was riding his dick. She was like, "I was riding the fuck out of that dick," and I guess he was gripping the sheets with his ass, and his hygiene is not up to par because he left dookie stains. And of course, in the book, I changed all names because, like I said, we talk shit, but we don't name drop. So Wayne is not the name of the person, but you know how when you were kids, anybody named Wayne, you used to say, "Wayne, Wayne, dookie stain." Immediately when she told me that story, that's what popped in my head. "Wayne, Wayne, dookie stain." Can y'all imagine? I would be so, I don't even know, like, how I would, if I would do the same thing, would I ghost the person? Like, I don't want no words. Like, I don't want to say anything to you. I have no rap. Or would I let them know about themselves? My ass would probably let them know, like, you know you left. shit stains. I don't know. That shit's wild. That shit's wild. And you know what? I probably should have gave y'all a disclaimer that some of these stories are real sexual. Well, all of the stories in my book are real sexual. So you're gonna hear a lot of pussy, a lot of fuck, a lot of dick. You're gonna hear a lot of that. So disclaimer. Sorry, I should have told y'all before I read that story. But okay, let's move on. This dating horror story came in via DM, and it came on the podcast IG page. And they said, "Hey, Tierra Laray, I have to tell you my dating horror story. My friend called himself hooking me up with one of his co-workers. It's been a minute since I went on a date, so shit, I was with it. I'm always down for a free meal." Anyway, me and co-worker dude, that's what we will call him, we met up at one of the hookah lounges close to my house. It was perfect because it's not far from home in case I have to do a quick getaway. And the hookah lounge is a great first meetup spot, in my opinion. I get there and meet co-worker dude, and everything is going well. The convo is flowing, drinks are flowing. Shit, I'm even thinking I might have to give co-worker dude some if everything keeps going well like it is. After a few rounds, the drinks are starting to warm up, so I'm doing some heavy flirting. I don't remember exactly when the convo went left, but I remember his ass saying, "Damn, we been in here turning up, but you really been turning up. Your bill gonna be high." I immediately sobered up. Huh? Then he follows up by asking me if I was going to finish my food, because if not, he was going to put it in a to-go box and take it home. I was starting to get turned off at this point, and then he hit me with the finishing move and asked if he could crash at my place tonight because he doesn't have enough money to stay at the hotel since he spent it on dinner and drinks. Wow. I cannot make this shit up. This man really asked me on the first date, and on top of that, he only planned to pay for his part of the bill. I told him, hell no, he could not stay at my place. Pay for my part of the bill and zoomed up out of there. I got in my car and had a good laugh, followed by see, this is why I don't date niggas in Atlanta talk. Lit my blunt